a little college football with Gary Danielson. Gary, first of all, boy, Mack Brown is under siege, isn't he? I mean, he needs to. He barely escaped, but he is under siege in Texas.
He is, and you know, with these icon schools, I mean, when you coach Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, Alabama, you have to not only win, you have to win convincingly. And if you have a downturn, it has to be a one-year downturn. You can't have more than a one-year downturn. And everybody loves Mack. All of us in the business enjoy being around him. But I think he understands the business, too. And right now, he's going to, plus there's going to be a change in the athletic directorship, too. I mean, he's going to come in with a new athletic director. It's going to be appears for him to survive this one.
Very
might
hard.
Be best for, Might be best for everyone to move in a different direction.
Yeah, I agree. The time has come. I agree with that. It happens. I could see that happening there. We learned a little bit last week in the two pivotal SEC games. Bama very impressively against Ole Miss, and then a very what we expected. We expected the two quarterbacks to be prominent in the Georgia LSU game, and they sure were.
They were. And, Mike, they both bring out, I think, points about where we are with the state of college football right now. And maybe, it might be seeping into the NFL now, too. The rules and the innovation of the offenses have so changed the style of football now. It's a different game than it was when we all 10 years ago got hooked on pro football and college football. I mean, how often do you watch a game now where you even mention the middle linebacker? I mean, that used to be the icon position of the foot. The Sam Huff, Ray Nitschke, Dick Chuck Bednarik, Mike Singletary. I mean, those guys don't even get mentioned.
Or care about the running backs. Or
we don't even mention running backs anymore. They are a very low priority. Teams don't spend very much money. Adrian Peterson is the exception.
Yeah.
Rather
and
than
in college, it used to be a running back. It used to be a running back game in college.
And I'm going to give you. It's one of the reasons I don't enjoy the Heisman. It's just me. I got out of it a while ago. But if you look at the Heisman now, I've been calling it the best spread quarterback award. Okay, and here it is now this year. Here's the leaders: Marcus Mariota, Bridgman, A.J. McCarron, Aaron Murray, Manziel, Jameis Winston. I mean, it's hard to come up with even a running back that even enters the picture.
Not
These
anymore.
are all outstanding players. But the way the game is going, and if you factor in one more thing this year, the new targeting rule has now taken the defensive coaches, a lot of them, out of zone defenses. You can no longer dislodge the football in the middle of the field, and the game is just different. I'm just saying that you better be prepared. Mike, in this right now, there are 143 teams that play college football. 26 of them are averaging more than 40 points a game.
It is amazing, and you're right. It has changed dramatically, and it's made it very tough. And it's very tough, I think now. And in a recent piece, Bill Parcells made this point, and it's a very good one. He says, very tough now to be an up-and-coming defensive coach as an assistant because no one's going to notice you. I mean, you're not going to be able anymore to make your name as a defensive coach because the rules are so against it.
I agree. Steve Young talked about it. Ray Lewis talked about it, that the rules have so slanted the game now. Hey, everybody likes it, I guess. I'm not saying,
the league's making more money than it ever made, so evidently people must like. I don't like it, but I guess people like it. You know that?
I guess they do too. I'm just saying that now, not only who would want to coach it, who would want to play defense? Would you want to play safety in the NFL or in college? I wouldn't.
Oh, you want to play tight end now or quarterback?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's right. But think about it. Last year, Gus Bradley's the only defensive coach hired in the NFL out of all those coaches, and his team can't win a game at Jacksonville. He's the only guy hired. Next year, they'll probably will be all offensive coaches.
I know. I personally, it's to me, the value of a touchdown has gone down in the game. It's like baseball. a 9-8 game, the value of a base runner isn't the same as a 2-1 game. And it's just a different strategy game. I can broadcast it. I enjoy all the great plays. I sometimes get frustrated, though, that it is becoming closer and closer to arena football.
I could not agree more. What would you say? And, we talked about this last year. We talked about it early this year. You could see this one coming over the mountaintop, okay? Lane Kiffin wasn't long for this world. We knew that. You could see it coming. What does it say? Is it just – what would you say, as someone who has sat and talked with him, which you have, what would you say about the fact that he has, burned through 3 prominent jobs as quickly as he has?
Well, he got a tough break with the USC job. I will say that. He took a job that demands a certain level, and they go on probation. And it was tough, tough rules and penalties for USC, much tougher than seems to be coming out now for teams that are having problems, with recruiting and extra benefits for players. But I think, you got to learn a lesson if you're Lane Kiffin or if you're another coach. You got to make some friends in the business. You got to have people that you work with, your bosses, the secretaries, the people you work around. They have to be on your side. And I think Lane, as a young coach, just focused in on his job, didn't worry enough about the people around him, above him, slightly below him. And he didn't have anybody arguing for Lane Kiffin when things got tough.